Jack Links presents Messing with Block Squatch.
What's that?
It's the peanut butter.
Block Squatch is allergic to peanuts.
What did we do?
I don't know a lot about sports, but I can drink a lot of beer.
My motto is simple: C's get degrees.
Need a long, inappropriate hug? I'm your man.
I think I'm smarter than you, because I probably am.
Howard Coward for box score.
Hello, welcome to the Box Score. I'm Brock in Los Angeles. They are the Danettes out in Milford, Connecticut. Guys, with baseball on the back burner, soccer momentum is picking up steam, and the boss was in full World Cup mode this morning out of the gates. Paulie, is it nice to see Dan passionate about something, even though you may not agree with him?
That's always what I want. I think I've always said that. I don't care what the topic is as long as Dan's into it, and he was well into it. I didn't agree with the direction he was going necessarily, but it's not my opinion. It's the Dan Patrick Show, so if he's fired up, I'm good.
DP was dishing out his thoughts on where soccer stood in this country when you and Seton decided to finally step in.
Maybe we get some stars that want to play in the Premier League. Maybe we get a franchise in the Premier League here. What's wrong, Paulie? Oh, sorry, Seton. Is that 5 good soccer seconds?
We were letting you go because it was you.
Yeah, I know.
Nothing good about those seconds either.
Yeah. Why, you got a problem?
A little bit of a downer.
Well, no, I'm trying to be honest with people. Wait, you want me to paint this?
You got to keep it real. It's all right. Like, we're in the middle of it. Like, let's enjoy it. It's fun.
I'm saying enjoy it. Stop looking down the road.
Enjoy it now, because you're never going to see it in 4 years.
Yeah, it was such a weird take for him. It was sort of like he's fired up about not caring or something, which I couldn't really wrap my head around all of it. And sort of like, well, no, just enjoy now. Forget about down the road. But like I said later in the show, I think most of what we do is sort of speculate on, like, what if this happens? I mean, think of how much time we spend talking about Johnny Manziel, and no one has any idea if he's going to be any good or not, really. Or how is this partying going to affect him? I have no idea. It might not at all, but we don't have any of those answers. We spend a lot of time on that. So I thought it was odd. It was almost like Dan had some, like, hidden message that he was trying to get across, but I couldn't quite figure out what it was.
I'm kind of in the same boat. I thought it was important, though, that Seton jumped in to kind of call Dan the downer, because if I would have done it, it'd been like, oh yeah, soccer lover. And Seton likes soccer too. Let's not kid each other. He played it. He's probably been a fan longer than I have. But I'm more known as the soccer guy of the show. So it was good that Seton kind of jumped in, because there's more of a neutral party there.
Well, not all of you are big soccer fans, but there's one Danette who tried to use subtle language to bash the sport, and Paulie was having none of it.
What's the analogy to having a catch or playing catch with your dad in terms of soccer? You want to kick the ball around?
Let's go out and have a kick.
Let's go kick it around.
Let's go kick it.
That was Fritzy's passive-aggressive way of saying it's a non-American sport. Dad's apple pie, Chevrolet,
Is
all
that
that.
right, Fritzy?
Yes.
You were trying to be mean-spirited
Well,
and
we
knock
keep
soccer.
comparing baseball to soccer, so that came to mind as to what would be the way you would describe let's go out and play soccer with each other.
There was
in
a
the backyard.
columnist in the Philadelphia Inquirer.
I guess I was looking back on that a little passive aggressive. I was being kind of cute, being a wise guy. It wasn't meant to bash soccer, but that just came to mind while we were debating baseball versus soccer and the future popularity of both sports.
Wait,
and we talked about Costner recently and the whole father-son catches or father-daughter catches. So I wanted to put that out there. What would be the analogy to having a catch or playing catch for soccer?
What you should be saying is they really, really went out of the way to pick on you. You weren't saying much, so they didn't have much material to go after you. That was a bit of a reach.
Yeah, it seemed a little harsh. I was willing to play along, but it was like on the mean-spirited side. But I think it would be a stretch to call it bashing
There are things
soccer.
that people get really attached to that don't actually make a lot of sense to me. That's sort of like my point with that whole thing is what makes throwing the ball more American than kicking the ball to each other? I mean, it's basically the exact same act, except one you're doing with your hand, one you're doing with the foot. Why is one of them so revered and one of them so like, what are you gonna do? Kick the ball back and forth? I don't know. It's just as silly to throw it back and forth, isn't it?
And I think we're so insulated in America. We think sports end at our borders. Most of the other dads in the country kick the ball around with their sons. Most of them, not throw the ball around like a football, baseball. So they probably think, what is this glove you need? What is this? Why are you throwing it? And why are guys standing there? So it is funny how American we think sports ends at our border.
In Fritzy's defense, it's easier to kick a ball. It takes some skill to throw a ball. If there's one thing we know, Paulie, if he believes in something, he'll stick by it, no matter how misguided it is. And when the soccer bashing continued, Fritzy landed squarely in Paulie's crosshairs.
How many baseball guests have you booked in the past 6 months? How many soccer guests have you booked?
Well, it's World Cup time once every 4 years.
No, 6 months.
Yeah, I still don't know how we could make that comparison. Right now, there's not a lot of baseball to talk about, and as soon as
middle of baseball
as soon as USA gets knocked out, then we're going to be searching hard for baseball stories.
This is bad guy Paulie, by the way.
Just answering Todd's claim that it's un-American
but this
sport.
is where you get bad guy like jerk Paulie.
He's picking on the guy he knows he can win the argument
you did.
with.
Yes, you did.
Yeah, bad guy jerk Paulie. Yeah, it was funny that Fritzy also heard his own case by saying we'll be desperately searching for baseball stories. And the I-Team went back and looked at it since Fritzy said, well, it's the World Cup. The month before the World Cup started, we had 3 baseball guests and 3 soccer guests, so it was equal. It was a little fun just to jab him back, though.
Coming up, would the Danettes root against each other? As you saw there, they always do, so stay with us.
The first comparison, the first name mentioned.
Yes.
The first comparison, in the spirit of the rules as initially articulated and the way our modern society operates via all sorts of ways to compare, I must find that Paul Pabst has prevailed in this contest. Because the first comparison made was to Adam Morrison, not Wally Zerbiak.
Welcome back to the Box Score. Mike Florio dropped the gavel on Friday and declared Paulie the winner in the controversial McDermott situation. McLovin, were you surprised that Paulie admitted that today he would have taken your side of the issue?
I'm not surprised at all. That case clearly had nothing to do with the facts. That was Paulie working the system, making sure the judge, looking at the judge's past rulings and deciding that he had a friendly venue. This was good lawyering by Paulie. I think he probably could have won on either side.
I think that was actually Paulie taking yet another victory lap on this thing. Because even when Paul told us why he would have taken McLovin's argument, it made absolutely no sense. And so I think it was just the only time he could get in one cheap shot against McLovin on this is today, and he took it.
Yeah, Seaton's about 1,000% right. I was thinking about this weekend. I took a debate class in college, and they'd make you debate one side of the issue one day, and the next day you would have to debate the opposite side of the issue. So I was thinking about it. I go, what if I would have had McLovin's side of the case? And, I was thinking, I think I could have won it with this little piece of wording, semantics, so it was kind of fun.
Next time, McLovin, just retain Paulie as your attorney. One person who had Paulie's back Friday was Landon Donovan, and over the weekend, he admitted rooting against the U.S. World Cup team when he was cut. Paulie, what went through your mind when you read that?
I wish he had said it on this show. That's what I thought. Believe it or not, I'm a producer first and foremost, and I was like, I second-guessed myself. And I was like, did we ask him a question like that? Did we ask him a question that would have gotten that answer? And I don't know if we did, and so I feel a little like kind of a whiff on our end that we didn't go in that direction. I don't know if it's an obvious question, but I think it's a question we could have and should have asked. But we did ask about if he had sour grapes and this, that, but I don't think we asked anything specific. I would like to know what was specifically asked. I just saw the answer from Landon. I'd like to know what the exact question was.
What if you guys were in Landon's shoes and were replaced by another Danette? Would you root against the show after you left? Seaton, you go first, please.
Wow, and so I'm, like, the ending's not good for me here? Like, I don't leave on my own, I'm just sort of left off the team and replaced?
Exactly.
Well, I can say in previous experience when I've left jobs or quit jobs, I've usually rooted against that job. So I would imagine this would follow suit.
I'm generally the same tone. It happened to me. I was replaced on this show back in late '05, and but it wasn't specifically by Dan. It was more by management. So when I had a talk with Dan, I realized that anger, even though you have it, sometimes can be self-defeating, and you could still be angry and still kind of wish ill for someone, but not let that out publicly and not let that taint your own career. So when I was replaced on the Dan Patrick Show, I kept in touch with Dan and some of the guys who worked on the show and kept in good graces with him. And I think if I had gone the other way, I know I wouldn't be here today producing. If I had blamed Dan for things that were my fault or a management decision, he would not have come back and asked me to produce a show 2 years later.
Yeah, for me, as usual, I'm going to be the only honest person in this room. Even if I left by choice for some other group, I would want to burn it down. I wouldn't just want it to fail. I would want it to fail colossally, therefore proving my worth. That's the only honest thing you're going to hear on the box score today, so mark it down.
I basically say the same thing.
Yeah, I gotta go with my back row partner, and the guys in the front also kind of alluded to it as well. I wouldn't want to or wish ill to Dan or any of the other guys that I've worked with for a number of years.
He's already lying.
No, but whoever took my role, I would want that to be a complete and utter disaster.
But wouldn't that hurt the show? And then you would be rooting against Dan and the guys.
I guess indirectly, but ultimately, if it ended poorly, whoever was doing my job, I would not be upset if it got
ratings and financial
became a total mess.
Like if it was a 2-guest Thursday, you'd be
slightly, not too much. That's too impactful.
Filled with columnists, beat writers. So yeah, I would definitely not be rooting for that person to.
Definitely not rooting for nor against.
Yeah.
Ambivalent. Paulie, you hammered home the fact that you aren't a fan of touching other men on today's show. McLovin, how many times have you seen Paulie get intimate with other men?
Intimate?
I'm not sure how to answer that question. I mean, let's see. Define, if by intimacy you mean hug, I saw the infamous hug in the movie theater. I was right behind Paulie trying to get out of the row, and I was just as shocked as everybody. I can't think. I've seen some bro hugs. They're awkward. Usually it's like a sales situation and Paulie's giving a bro hug.
I don't mind an occasional bro hug, not to someone I see like 3 times a week, but if I haven't seen you in 6 months.
It's definitely a tap bro hug. It's not a real hug, so I would say that once is about it.
We have some evidence that Paulie actually does like man-on-man contact. Here's the time he wrestled Kyle Dake. Looked like he was having a grand old time in his onesie. Paulie, do you have this on VHS tape at home?
That's funny. If someone had sent that to me on Twitter, how are you a wrestler but you don't like physical contact? Well, sports is like the umbrella where physical contact is like almost ignored or expected.
Where you can scratch that itch.
Yeah, you can. Oh, I can finally be who I want to be.
Right.
If you're not buying that as evidence, how about this? Paulie getting on all fours with McLovin. Well, I'm not sure what that move is called. McLovin, were you eternally scarred after that?
Oh, is this the elephant chain?
Oh, this is not.
Ball and chain.
Wow.
Ball and chain.
McLovin was so mad after that.
Yeah. All I can say is Paulie, I think that proves.
That got ugly.
Seton can tell you, Brock, he was a little salty after that.
Yeah,
boy,
certain body parts.
Great Salt Lake over there.
Salty body parts. Let's get out of this. Up next, the big belt is up for grabs in the man cave. Stay with us. Welcome back to the Box Score. Guys, it's that time again. We found the stories that made headlines over the weekend. It's your job to give them your own little personal twist. Let's bless Dan Nation with another edition of
Mock Headline Battle Royale.
I give you a headline, you give me a mock headline. First headline, the Dutch get an extra time penalty kick to stun Mexico. Let's start in the back row, McLovin.
Orange is the new bull crap.
That's funny.
Topical. Front row, Paulie, please.
Dutch oven. Mexico can't take the heat in Brazil.
Which segues nicely to Fritzy. What do you got?
I've got Little Flop of Horrors, some acting job by Crying Dutchman.
Crying Dutchman. Crying Dutchman is okay.
That was a full-bodied headline. And finally, Seton, your mock headline.
Well, I'm going second. So, Dutch oven. Mexico thinks this match stinks.
That's better than mine.
Okay. We'll take your word. Second headline, Robert De Niro crashes a random World Cup viewing party. Front row, Paulie.
Mind if I join your soccer party? You mind? You mind if I join? You mind if I join your soccer party?
2 in a row.
Are you kidding me? This is crap.
Sorry, Seton. Fritzy, what do you have?
I knew you were going there.
Bad fella. Motherfucker thinks he can just show up uninvited.
2 movies and 1 headline. That's beautiful.
Motherfucker's pretty good.
Seton, what do you have?
Can I sit on that couch? Hey, can I sit on that couch? Can I sit on that couch?
Can I have a little dip? A little dip? And finally, McLovin.
I'm doing my Karen, they're down there. But that's not my line, though. Are you talking to me? Are you talking to me? It's really loud in here with the Univision guy yelling so loud. Are you talking to me?
Pretty good.
Okay.
And applause.
The Karen, you just go over there. Yeah.
I gotta go. Our third headline, Clayton Kershaw strikes out 13 in a 6-0 blanking of the Cards. Fritzy, start us off.
Putting the K in Kershaw, Artful Dodger strikes again.
Very clever. Oh, and they boo him? That's not nice. Seton, you're next.
Clayton Kershaw.
Ooh, wow.
That was pretty good.
Is that Friday the 13th? McLovin, what do you got?
I got Muhammad, Jagdesh, Sydney, and Clayton. Kershaw, a nerd? I don't think so.
Yeah! Andrew.
That was great.
That's so good.
You still want to show me your cucumber, Paulie? Your headline.
I couldn't think of a play on words, so Clayton Kershaw is a badass. A little simple, to the point.
Very USA Today. And finally, our last headline. BET honors Lionel Richie with a Lifetime Achievement Award, then misspells his name. Ouch. Front row, Seton.
Mine is Tea Party. Lunatic fringe of graphics department throws wrench in annual BET elections.
Ooh. Deep.
Political. Fritzy, what do you have?
Hello, the spelling of my name is all night wrong.
Polly.
Dancing on Hurt Feelings. BET misspells Richie's name.
I like that.
Thank you, Bob.
I'm a Lionel fan. And finally, McLovin.
Mine is more of a visual thing. It's not walking on the ceiling, but I go C-I-E-L-I-N-G, breaking the cardinal rule, E before I, except after C. Or no, I before E. You got the point. Just
Except
read
for a
it.
neighboring way. McLovin, you are the winner of the mock headline championship bout.
Attaboy, Andrew. Attaboy, kid.
Nice. 4-4-4.
Well
Bravo.
done. Well done. Orange is the new bull crap.
Stay with us. We'll see how being too candid on the show can cost you big time.
And now, Deep Thoughts by Rodney Dangerfield. My mother always insisted that my brother and I eat all of our vegetables. I hated vegetables, but my brother Timmy loved them. I remember one day, my mother said, Timmy's gonna grow up big and strong and become an Olympic athlete. But later that summer, Timmy was injured in a freak kite flying accident, paralyzing him from the waist down. I guess it's true what they say. Hey, you are what you eat.
Welcome back to the Box Score. News broke today on the show that Jason Kidd had been traded from the Nets to the Bucks. Fritzy, you seem like a guy loyal to your job. Was this Bush League by Kidd?
I thought it was Bush League. The guy had no coaching experience. The Nets took a chance on him and hired him. And after just 1 year, he's making demands that he wants more money or bigger titles and all that. He should be thankful to them that they gave him a head coaching job with no experience. And when I heard that story, I thought that was very, very weak by Kidd to do that.
How often do we get a coach traded story? It doesn't seem like there's too many of those.
2 draft picks.
Like 10 years ago.
It was, and the boss wasn't a fan of Kidd's tactics, and he shared it early in the first hour.
Make the playoffs again, ask for a raise. You got a billionaire owner, probably hell-bent on loyalty, and all of a sudden you showed a lack thereof. And look at all the people you're screwing around with and their futures, their careers. For what? A couple of million? Ego. Point guards aren't supposed to be selfish. Jason Kidd has been selfish.
What I'm thinking about here, or when I hear this, is if we get Jason Kidd at 9:20 a.m. tomorrow when he's the new coach, will Dan and how does Dan tell him what he thinks? The good thing is about Dan, he will tell him. and because he's not a hypocrite. And it may be the last time we have Jason Kidd on, or Jason Kidd may say, like, you know what, I understand, but I like when Dan is forthcoming with the guests and doesn't rip them the day before and they go, hey, buddy, congrats on the new job, without saying what he said for 2 hours the day before.
I agree. It's one of Dan's best qualities. I totally agree.
Right, yeah, it's something that sets him apart is finding a more diplomatic way to say really difficult things, which is something that I'm always like, dang, dude, sort of marvel at.
Yeah, and the honesty, too. Exactly.
And Steve's right. Diplomatic is a good way of putting it. He doesn't call Jason Kidd a jerk or, like something really personal. He just says, I don't like the decision. I don't like him doing it, and here's why.
Yeah, what am I missing here? Because this is what it looks like to me, and that he'll find that way to get in there and put it on a real level.
Let's stay with basketball, but rewind it a little bit. Seton, take us back to 2010 when Steve Kerr was the Suns GM. What did Dan ask him that cost him $10,000?
Oh, man, he asked him about LeBron James, right? LeBron was a free agent at the time, and he said to Steve, like, are you guys looking at LeBron or something? And something about mid-level exception. And, it got in all kinds of trouble. He got fined 10 grand, and we were like, oops, sorry, dude.
We didn't help him with it, though.
Knowing this, Paulie, why did Dan ask Mitch Kupchak about LeBron James today when he knows that Kupchak could get in big trouble talking about it?
Because Mitch Kupchak getting in trouble is his situation, his deal with the league. It's not our problem. Our job is to ask the questions. He can even say, I can't talk about any player because of tampering, which he kind of did.
Yeah.
But our job is to ask, not to keep Mitch Kupchak out of trouble. That's not our job.
It's fun to watch guys like that squirm, too, where they're like, they want to give you an answer. They're kind of like, Dan, I'm not allowed to talk about these kinds of things. And I'm really like riding this fine line here, and you can tell how uncomfortable they are.
Yeah, there was a few pauses there where I don't know if he hung up or there was a problem with the phone line, but he was deep in thought or just worried that he was going to say something he's not supposed to say. But throughout the interview, and he's done that before. He's had these long pauses where I'm like looking at the phone, like, did we lose the guy altogether?
Yeah, there was one moment today where both me and Fritzy were staring at the phone line. I could see the panic. I mean, maybe it's Kupchak. But I think Kupchak did say a little bit, if you read between the lines, he said, we have so much cap space, why wouldn't we go after these big guys? So he kind of walked the line. It's funny, because you can get a little bit of information without getting the answer. So I think it was a worthwhile question.
Fritzy, who is on tomorrow, brother?
Hall of Fame broadcaster for the Dodgers, Vin Scully, will be with us Tuesday, and NBC lead soccer analyst Kyle Martino will get us ready for USA-Belgium.
Thank you, guys, and thank you for watching The Box Score. Set your DVR or tune in weekdays at 3 p.m. Eastern, only on Audience Channel 239, right here on DirecTV.
I don't know a lot about sports, but I can drink a lot of beer.
My motto is simple. C's get degrees.
Need a long, inappropriate hug? I'm your man.
I think I'm smarter than you, because I probably am.
Hey, thanks for watching The Box Score. Holy cow!